I'm working on it. Sorry about that. Of course. All right, we're live.
Good evening. I call to order this public hearing pursuant to Section 859-A of the General Municipal Law. The agency is Ulster County Industrial Development Agency. Project beneficiary is Accord LLC. Project location, it's located at 2 to 8 Towpath Road. The tax map number, you can read along with that if you have a copy of it. In the town of Rochester, Ulster County, New York. This is the hearing date of January 7, 2026. The time is 6:11 p.m. The hearing location is here at the Town of Rochester Youth Center, located at 15 Tobacco Road in the Town of Rochester, Ulster County, New York. My opening remarks. Good evening. My name is Michael Ham, and I am the chairperson of the Ulster County Industrial Development Agency. I'm also the hearing officer tonight for this public hearing being held in connection with the project, which is the subject of the public hearing. Could we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I'd now like to highlight the mission of the agency. The mission statement of this agency is as follows. The mission of the Ulster County Industrial Development Agency is to advance the job opportunities, general prosperity, and long-term economic vitality of Ulster County residents by targeting tax incentives, bonds, and other assistance to foster creation and the attraction of new business and the retention and expansion of existing businesses. At this time, I'd like to introduce some of the people that we have here tonight. Two of our board members, Joe Ferraro, Steve Kelly, our executive director, Hillary Nichols, and our counsel, Shannon Wagner, to the IDA. So today we are holding this public hearing to allow citizens to make a statement for the record relating to the involvement of the agency with a project for the benefit of Accord LLC, a New York limited liability company. I would like to note, as required by New York state law, the agency is live streaming this public hearing. We have also made arrangements for a stenographer to be present in order to accurately make a record of the public comments received at this public hearing. I will provide information on the agency's legal authority to hold this public hearing, a description of the proposed project, the purpose of the public hearing, and the agency's next steps. I will then open this public hearing up for comment. Let's see. Shannon, am I going to you with that?
I can read that if you want me to.
Yeah. Why don't you take the legal authorization? How's that?
The provisions of Chapter 1030 of the Laws of 1969 of New York, constituting Title I of Article 18A of the General Municipal Law, Chapter 24 of the Consolidated Laws of New York as amended, and Chapter 787 of the 1976 Laws of the State of New York as amended, codified as Section 923 of the General Municipal Law, authorize the agency to promote, develop, encourage, and assist in the acquiring, constructing, reconstructing, improving, and maintaining, and equipping and furnishing of manufacturing, warehousing, research, commercial, and industrial facilities, among others. The proposed project consists of the following. The acquisition of an interest in an approximately 6.88 acre parcel of land located at 2 to 8 Towpath Road in the town of Rochester, Ulster County, New York, together with 6 existing buildings located thereon containing an aggregate of approximately 8,500 square feet of space, the reconstruction and renovation of that facility, the acquisition and installation therein and thereon of certain machinery, equipment, and other personal property, all of this collectively being referred to as the project facility. All of the foregoing to be owned and operated by the company as a mixed-use hospitality facility and other directly and indirectly related activities. The granting of certain financial assistance within the meaning of the Act with respect to the foregoing, including potential exemptions from certain sales and use taxes, real property taxes, real estate transfer taxes, and mortgage recording taxes, and the lease with an obligation to purchase or sale of the project facility to the company or such other person as may be designated by the company and agreed upon by the agency. Pursuant to Section 859-A2 of the General Municipal Law of the State of New York, prior to the agency providing any financial assistance as defined in the Act of more than $100,000 to any project, the agency, among other things, must hold a public hearing pursuant to Section 859-A of the Act with respect to said project. Since the proposed financial assistance to be provided by the agency with respect to the proposed project may exceed $100,000, then prior to providing any financial assistance of more than $100,000 to the proposed project, the agency must hold a public hearing on the nature and location of the project facility and the proposed financial assistance to be provided by the agency with respect to the proposed project. After consideration of the application submitted to the agency by the company, the members of the agency adopted a resolution on December 17th, 2025, authorizing the executive director of the agency to conduct this public hearing with respect to the proposed project pursuant to Section 859-A2 of the Act. The executive director of the agency caused notice of this public hearing to be mailed on December 23rd, 2025 to the chief executive officers of Ulster County, the town of Rochester, and the Rondout Valley School District, and published on December 26, 2025, in the Daily Freeman, a newspaper of general circulation available to the residents of the town of Rochester, Ulster County, New York. In addition, the executive director of the agency caused notice of this public hearing to be posted on December 23, 2025, on the agency's website, and on December 30th, 2025, on a public bulletin board located at the town of Rochester Town Hall, located at 50 Scenic Road in the town of Rochester, Ulster County, New York. Copies of the notice of this public hearing are available at the front of the room.
So the purpose of this public hearing is to solicit input with respect to the proposed project. We are not here to answer any questions. Although in the course of the hearing, we will consider questions if we have the information to answer the questions and there is sufficient time to consider such questions. Now, unless there is any objection, I'm going to suggest waiving the full reading of the notice of this public hearing and instead request the full text of the notice of this public hearing be inserted into the record of this public hearing. The agency will consider the proposed project as a subsequent meeting of the agency, currently scheduled for January 21st, 2026 at 9 a.m. And at such meeting, the agency will also consider the comments received at this public hearing. Such meeting, like all meetings of the agency, are open to the general public. The notice of the public hearing indicated that written comments could be addressed to Hillary Nichols, Executive Director. At this time, the agency has not received any. We have?
They're in
Okay.
the file, and they'll be shared at the
Thank you.
meeting.
Okay, at this time, can I ask if there's anyone here from the affected taxing jurisdiction?
Well, sorry. We have the list,
Thanks.
and he'll call names. Thank you. If you haven't signed in, just come write your name here and I'll bring it up to him. Sorry, I missed you when you were outside the door. So, there's your name.
Hill, who here is from the school or,
You have members from the school district.
all right, it's not clearly defined here, is it?
On the first page of that.
Okay. We didn't break that.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
It could be a doctor.
Yeah.
And then I've got two more names.
Okay.
So the school is here, if you want to start with that.
Sure. Tabitha, and I cannot read your last name.
The game
Okay. You,
and Dr. Spadaro.
Okay. yeah, that's the next one I can. Yeah, you guys didn't go like a Catholic school, they would beat us with a stick, you know, I mean, but yeah, okay, so Tabitha, if you want to go first.
Sure, do you want me to stand?
Yeah, please just introduce yourself, just,
So I'm Tabitha Game. This is Dr. Spadaro. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Business Services for the school district, and he's a superintendent. I came to comment to the board.
If you could give your comments
Yep.
to the board.
I just
and-
wanted to let them know who I was.
No, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry, so this is for everyone, if you guys could stand a little closer, just so you're in the frame,
Tell me
and
when.
then come this
There
way
you go.
towards me.
More?
Oh,
That's
there's a delay, that's why I can't see you.
Okay.
And then if you could address your comments directly to the board and not to the members.
Sure, I just want to let everybody so I can hear.
Go ahead.
So anyway, I'm the school business official or the assistant superintendent of business services, so I handle the tax levy calculation along with Dr. Spadaro. And pilots do have an effect on the school district's ability to levy taxes and increase taxes, even though the pilot is a payment in lieu of taxes, it reduces our ability to increase taxes. And we have a concern about our ability to continue to levy and properly support our programs. Our district relies 60% on the tax levy to process our expenditures or cover our expenditures through revenue sources. However, we are willing to we don't have a problem with pilots. We just want to be able to have a deeper conversation about how those pilots are structured so it doesn't negatively impact us in being able to provide programs to students.
We're excited about this opportunity that's coming to the town of Rochester. Economic growth brings in, jobs, it brings in families, hopefully brings in students or enrollment can increase. So that's exciting. What we're asking is just a seat at the table. There's other ways to structure your pilots. There's a lot of flexibility out there. There's also education contributions that the business could also partake in besides doing a pilot. So we just want to give those flexibility options, to the IDA, instead of structuring a pilot this way, like you planned on, did you think about doing an education contribution, or do you think about structuring a pilot a different way that, not only impacts, the business and the economic development, and the town of Rochester and also the taxpayers, but also how it could also positively affect, the school district as well. So we're excited about this opportunity. It's great. All we're asking for, all the school district asking for is a seat at the table to discuss the pilot moving forward.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next would be Sarah Magenheimer. Sarah, can you tell us who you're with?
Hi, I'm just an individual who lives in our.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
Yeah.
with the taxing jurisdiction
No,
when she
no.
handed me this one. So, okay.
No, I was just signing in.
That's okay. We can start with you. That's
Oh,
fine.
you have
Okay.
more to read before you get into the public comment.
Yeah, I know I do, but I thought she was with the
Sorry, no,
taxing
this is
jurisdiction.
more add-on.
Yeah,
My apologies.
I
People that came
apologize.
in
I
after
apologize. Give me
Okay.
one second.
We'll get to you, I promise. That was my bad. Sorry about that. Sorry, Mike.
Okay, okay. So no one else here from affected taxing jurisdiction? Okay. Renner Henry, would you like to speak?
Sure.
Remarks by the company?
Yeah. Sorry. So like you guys said, 6 buildings, used to be 8, before one of them burned down. One of them fell down. One of the main heritage sites in the town of Accord, used to drive economically for the whole area. Mill train from all throughout Catskills, had its own train stop. Its economic impact on the town couldn't be overstated. The site is, before it was on the O&W, it was on the D&H Canal, and it closed in 1985. And since then, it's been, in various stages of decomposition. Like I said, one of the houses fell down, one of them needed to be repaired. The main granary barn had a big leak. The structural in the coal barn is, completely gone. We plan on fixing that as part of the project. Like you said, the project is, it's an inn, it's a bike shop to help activate micromobility tourism, get people, up to Minnewaska and get people on the rail trail, and a restaurant, another place for people to come and eat. And, in terms of economic effect, our hope is that it helps revitalize the whole Main Street corridor. If you talk to, people who are older, they remember when there was kind of 45-degree angle parking, and all of these sites actually had businesses and people were walking around. It was thriving. People got off the train, hundreds of people at a time, stay at hotels. And one of the reasons that also we're doing this is that the town of Rochester has unusually few
businesses and opportunities for employment. 85% of people in the town have to leave town for work. If you look at census data, there's, something like 12 LLCs per 1,000 people in Rochester. Ellenville, Warsing, Marbletown, Hurley all have, somewhere between 25, 35, and obviously Woodstock, New Paltz, Kingston through the roof. I do think anybody applying for a pilot program does need to justify, the economic benefit. And I think in this town, we have just an unusual employment condition where there's just simply not that many middle income jobs, and which is a huge problem for housing because when things come on the market, a lot of people just can't afford it. And the other reason that we're applying for this program is it is a historic heritage site. We are doing everything within SHPO guidelines. We're not knocking anything down. Everything is adaptively reused, and we're preserving and restoring the site. Bit of an unusual move, definitely not the cheapest way to develop it, but it's the reason that we got into the project is because we wanted to preserve the building for our families, future generations. That adaptive reuse comes at a pretty steep cost. We also don't have town sewer or town water in this town, unlike a lot of the neighboring towns. And so, the septic system alone, Presby system, there's a lot of unusual costs. And so that's why we've been applying for grants and this kind of state and county support. Happy to answer any questions, but I think you guys have already heard about it. So,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, sure.
Thank you. Okay. So I will now open the public hearing for public comment. It is 6:27 p.m. By the way of operating rules, if you wish to make a public comment, I'll go through the list. I'll call on you. Please wait to be recognized. Once you're recognized, please stand up, state your name and the address for the record. Obviously, everybody knows. If you can come on up here and stand so we can pick you up on the speaker, and you can still be on camera, okay, as we live stream. And state your name and your address for the record. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes. I'm going to set a timer, okay? So we have a good amount of people here that are signed up. So 3 minutes is the time on that, okay? So we want to have everybody have a chance to comment for the record. If your comments, they mirror them of someone that's already spoken, I mean, you can relinquish your time, or you can still get up and speak on your behalf, whatever you want to do, okay? When everyone has had the opportunity to speak, I will conclude the public hearing. A record of this public hearing will be prepared and reviewed by the members of the agency in connection with the agency's consideration of the proposed project. Again, the purpose of this public hearing is to solicit public comment. We are not here to answer any questions. However, in the course, once again, of the public hearing, we will consider questions if we have the information to answer the questions and there is sufficient time to do so. I will now ask if there's anyone in attendance who wishes to comment on either the nature and location of the project facility or the proposed financial assistance being contemplated by the agency with respect to the proposed project. For the record, once again, please state your name, indicate your comments on either the proposed project or the proposed financial assistance being contemplated by the agencies in respect to the proposed project. Okay. So now I'll start with everybody, okay? So first one up is Susan Sprackman. Did I get it right, Susan? Look at me.
Susan Sprackman. I live in Cripplebush, so I'm not in the town. I'm here mainly to be, I guess what you could call a character witness. I've known Henry since he was 10 years old. He and my son have been best friends all of that time. And a whole group of Henry and my son and Henry's father and other people have moved to this area. And Henry has been, in his own way, sort of a mover and shaker in populating this area and creating opportunities for people to be here. And I wanted to come to support Henry because I feel that in having Henry in your town and doing things to try to bring investment to the town, you have a rare individual, where he's not just trying to get things for himself, but to do things for others. I mean, I remember when Henry graduated college and started his first business. He started a restaurant in Brooklyn, and he was looking for a place that for a neighborhood that was underserved and where there would be a place for community gathering. So I wanted to support the project and the opportunities that it brings to Rochester.
Thank you. Okay. Next one, Paul Sprackman.
Announce we have another board member.
Oh.
Just duplicate what my wife said.
Okay. All right. We appreciate that, Paul. Thank you.
I don't want to repeat that.
At this time, let the record show that board member Trevor Kerwin, hell, I'm going to do the Natalie thing. Trevor Kerwin has joined the board here.
Sorry, folks, I'm a little late due to other commitments, but thank you.
Okay, so the next one would be Joseph O'Connor.
My centered.
You're good.
I want to follow the first speaker. It was heartfelt. I don't know the folks as long as the first speaker, but my name's Joe O'Connor. I'm a graduate of Rondout. My mom taught there for 30 years. My dad was on the school board. I live in New Paltz. I'm aware of the cost of construction and trying to rebuild the community. When I left Rondout, almost all of the kids I went to school with, my friend Jack is here. Almost everybody left because there was nothing left for them to do here. There was no enjoyment. There were no parks. Everything was broken down. It started to change maybe 20 years ago because people like these folks invested in the community when they didn't have to, when they could have gone to any other location. Seems that there is, and I follow it online, that they are attacking people because they're wealthy or because they're investing money in our community. I'm here to say that I think we really should take the opposite approach. Welcome these folks in. I grew up in Rosendale. Some of you are old enough to remember the Williams Lake Hotel. It was a place where every one of us worked. It was a hotel, similar size, smaller hotel with a restaurant. My sisters worked there. They opened the facility to the community, the fire department, all of the armed forces that wanted to do an event. They gave them reduced or gave them free access. And from my discussion with the folks that are behind this program, that's kind of the same stewards they want to be of the community. Something that is so much more than just, it seems that people think, oh, we're giving tax breaks, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's my understanding of this building, and as long as I went to Rondout and roamed these areas and drove around, that property has been vacant for 35 or 40 years and nothing has come from it. What's going to come from it from business, from having a business there? And I think it's a 6.8 acre. These folks are willing to put $10 million into this little stamp in the middle of Accord and hope that it grows into a hub. The hospitality business, I saw there was some attacks about the hospitality business. My parents had a restaurant in Rosendale. I worked in a restaurant for probably 15 years. I learned a lot more in that restaurant, in the hospitality business and working at Williams Lake Hotel than I ever learned in an Ivy League school or in law school. And I think these folks really have their heart in the right place. Accord deserves this. I don't see Henry or Ren or Vera as somebody who's trying to take from this community or take from the IDA or take from the county. These folks are trying to give to the place where they've chose to be their home. How many people in the county, how many people historically in the county can say, hey, I'm going to invest $10 million and I just want some help from our community to do exactly what the IDA was formed to do, to attract business, to foster business. Sorry, I'm on the clock. Thank you for your time.
You got it. Thank you, Joe. Okay. Next up is Ren. Ren?
I don't have anything to add.
No, you're good? Okay. Jack Flynn?
I have no comment.
No comment? Okay. Let's see. Yes, Jack, I see that. I apologize. Maria Dyer? It's not cooperating.
Hi, I live in Accord. I'm Henry's partner. And we chose to come to Accord to raise our family. We have 2 young kids here. And, we really fell in love with the community. And Henry showed me these buildings. And when I first saw them, I was like, I don't know about them. They're so derelict. And the scope of the project seems so huge. And we could literally do anything else. Like, why should we do this project? But he really had a vision for it and a passion, and he saw something really beautiful in these derelict buildings. And like he could build something really lovely for our community and for our daughters, to maybe work at in the restaurant, because we also think hospitality jobs are honorable jobs. I know that there are some people in the community that don't think that, but we think that, and I worked as a waitress when I was younger as well, and I learned a lot. And I've seen Henry opened up a market on Main Street, and I've seen like all the teenagers working there, nearby, and it's really brought some vitality back to this place that didn't have anything going for it, really. It's really tough to open a business, and I really believe that Henry and Ren have not only have their hearts in the right place, but also can like run a business and make it successful, make it beautiful, and make it a place where people from outside Accord want to come, but also in the community want to come and like take their kids, because there's not many places to do that here, like go biking and things like that. So I just wanted to say how much I support this project and how I really hope that they are given the support from the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Henry, and I cannot read your last name. This isn't you, Henry.
Maybe it was.
It might
Yeah.
be him.
Was it you?
Yeah, sorry.
I can't read it.
it.
Getting bad. Okay, moving ahead. Aura Ferdman.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity to
Thank
make
you.
a comment. Appreciate it. My name's Aura Ferdman. I'm a resident of Accord. I'm a project manager. I work in construction. I run my own business here, employing trans and queer construction folks and building, small single family homes in the area for residents, and also local businesses like Harana Market and work on skate time. So I know a lot about the ins and outs of the costs about adaptive reuse. I worked on the Kinsley in Kingston. I have a lot of experience with projects that have received tax credits. I've seen the books and done a lot of management work around what's involved in applying, what the costs and benefits are. I also worked on Radio Kingston's development in Kingston, so I've seen a real big range of projects in my career locally, and I think that there's a big difference in the quality of the project in terms of the kinds of jobs that it's going to create, how many jobs, and what the real vision is for it as the part of the community. I think Radio Kingston is a fantastic example of a project that really creates a thorough culture of supporting the community that it's in. So I watched the inauguration ceremony last week for the mayor and public advocate of our neighbors to the south of New York City, as a lot of us probably did. And I was incredibly moved by their emotional speeches celebrating the values of diversity and affordability. The crowd, maybe it's schlock, feels schmaltzy to say, but the crowd literally chanted "tax the rich" in a show of enthusiastic solidarity with those who struggle the most. And that's what the majority in that setting were we're feeling and wanting to say. So it feels really strange to be standing here amongst my own community who I know also share these values, having to make the case that wealthy real estate investors who I know are well-intentioned and do live here and care and are not bad people, aren't maybe the best deserving of these tax breaks. I think there are other better uses for these dollars, including these tax dollars could be going towards housing, transportation, sustainable economic development, healthcare, support services. I'm on the Affordable Housing Committee, and I know that it's very increasingly hard to afford a house or a place to rent here. The home or rental cost here has increased as the availability has decreased. In recent years, the current housing crisis we're facing here is dire. Families earning a median income qualify for mortgages that are $100,000 to almost $300,000 short of median priced homes. I think supporting this project will further broaden the class divide in this community, causing even less livable circumstances for the least privileged. I'm almost finished. And awarding tax breaks for the luxury boutique commercial project that this is reinforces the notion that Accord is a place to be enjoyed by the wealthy rather than the working class. Jobs created by this proposed project would be mostly low wage, high stress, high turnover jobs with no benefits. This is no boon to people struggling to make ends meet. Can the applicants show how many of the projected jobs will be able to afford the town's median rent without public assistance or long commutes? I value a strong, diverse, healthy community over profit for a few, and I urge you to consider these values in assessing the worthiness of your financial assistance to those not in need.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Sally Roy.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Well, how are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good angle. Good. I came to speak in support of change and opportunity. And I think when people built a canal through here from the Delaware to the Hudson, people must have thought, that's insane. And I think that having people with vision and an opportunity for the town to have something new and exciting is scary and intriguing. And I stand in support of this project. I think that as a community, we can support it. I feel like I can support it. And I speak to just watching Main Street change in the last 5 years with the market and the laundromat being transformed. And it just changes the tone and timbre of the town. And I think that any place that can provide jobs, which is good, being a waitress is or a waiter or a manager or someone who works in hospitality is a perfectly good job and opportunity. If it's, I don't know how low wage it is, but people seem to make a living doing it. And if they can make a living doing it in this town, that would be great. So I stand in support of this project, and I hope you can find a way to help with tax incentives. I don't think they should go on forever, of course, but that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next up is Catherine DeWitt. Hi.
Hi there. I'm Catherine DeWitt. I live on Cooper Street in Accord. My family and I are all longtime Accord residents. Starting out, I guess I'm just curious how the Granary project came to the conclusion that Accord needs to be revitalized. I'm also curious if the Granary project ever talked to low income level residents to determine whether this is how we would define revitalizing the area. I personally find it offensive to hear people who haven't even lived here their whole lives saying that Accord Main Street had nothing going for it and that it's only seen growth since people that have come here 20 years ago, when some of us have been here the whole time. Many of my peers that I went to elementary, middle, and high school with, and whose families are from the area, can no longer afford to make roots here themselves. And I'm unclear how what is no doubt another high-end restaurant and hotel will do good for the local community, particularly at a time when so many are struggling to buy food, afford health insurance, and housing. Not to mention that this tiny hamlet already has another high-end hotel and restaurant that also received tax breaks and actively avoids being a contributing member of this community. Any people who might want to work at the proposed project basically would be unable to find housing around here because the area continues to support projects that are geared towards visitors rather than people putting down roots and becoming members of the community. I've heard it talked about like creating these jobs will create people or create the opportunity for people living here since there will be jobs here. But Innis came and I don't see any more housing available to low income residents. And I'm also curious why, despite taxes for Accord residents increasing year after year, millionaires are requesting an additional $1.7 million in tax breaks on top of the $4 million in state tax credits and $500,000 of grant money they've already received. Tell me how giving additional tax breaks on the backs of local struggling taxpayers is revitalizing for the everyday people of Accord. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Mead DeWitt.
That was my daughter, Catherine. A long time here. Don't want to get into how far back we go. But then again, as far real quick with school taxes, need to get them off property and get them on a sales tax. That's something that should be thought of because then it would be contributing taxes if it was on a sales tax for them. There again, so 15-year tax break, does the money get paid back or does this just like a grant that the money is never returned? So that's no, I'm not asking for an answer. Then again, like I said, we're putting money into things that you go to talk to the people working up at Innis and they can't afford to live in the area. So they're coming from Palinville, Hunter and everything because they can't find housing. So I think this money would be better spent towards trying to find affordable housing. Everybody you talk to says they can't find affordable housing, affordable rent in the area. You know, not to pick on, I mean, if they have money, God bless them. I believe in capitalism. But it comes a point is what is the tax burden going to be to the local area because they want to do a project? You know, I just see my taxes go up every year, school property, but yet there's nothing, when you read your thing earlier about what this is for, there was no mention of agriculture in your, you know, development plan. So everybody comes up here because why? Wide open spaces, the fields, the views, everything. Well, that's done because of agriculture. So if we don't have agriculture, where do all those spaces and views go? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next up, and Charlotte, I'm sorry, I can't read your last name. Okay, thank you.
And just as a full disclaimer, I am a council person in this municipality. I am here to speak as a resident though tonight,
Okay.
not on behalf of the board. First off, thank you for being here. I was very saddened that the notice was not published in the town's official newspaper for this municipality that reaches our residents, which is the Shawangunk Journal, and instead was published in the Daily Freeman. I think that in the future that your committee might want to consider publishing public hearing notices in the actual municipality's adopted paper, not just the county's. Also, I'd like to start off by saying the town of Rochester is historically a very rural, small town.
Oh, that's not you. That's another one. Sorry, I apologize.
As others before me have pointed out, agriculture is our main stay. Before that, we've always had agriculture, but once the railroad closed and once the canal closed, we really lost most support from any other larger governments or powers that be in this area. I think I would urge you to not approve a $1.7 million tax break in a town that has not received $1.7 million in county funding on projects towards housing or infrastructure or social services or anything else. We don't even have a library in this town. We have no form of social services except for rehabs. We don't even have a retirement home. We have no Repco buildings. We have no interest from developers on a county level in this area from our lack of infrastructure. And that's because we're your agriculture town. We're the town that produces all of the food and the beautiful, beautiful produce that you purchase at New Paltz and Ellenville and Kingston and Woodstock and all the other towns' farmers markets. Most of those farmers, I'd say probably at least 40%, I would comfortably say, come from the town of Rochester and sell our goods outside of there to provide nourishment from our soil to the rest of the county. That's my shtick about the town. Now I'm going to just get into numbers. So we're a town of less than 10,000, and per capita, our residents, according to the last census, make $54,000 a year. 54% of our town makes less than $100,000 a year annually, our households. We should not have to pay for a project that bought five plus different parcels to merge into this project. If they weren't going to be able to afford the taxes on a project, they should have kept it at one parcel and not kept expanding and growing and adding more uses to the project. 10%, over 10% of our overall town, it lives below the poverty line. 12% of our children live below the poverty line in this town. Our taxes were just raised for the entire average for 2026 for our municipal taxes, 21.84%. That is a huge increase to the people of this town. I understand town taxes are the smallest percentage on your tax bill, but to make the taxpayers and the residents of this town have to divide up that $1.7 million, you're asking each and every one of these households to pay $535 more a year in taxes that are your responsibility. And I'm sorry, that's not my family's responsibility. We're having a hard enough time keeping up with the economy. So, and I'm just one happen to be elected official of this town. There's more like me sitting in this audience, and there's even more at their homes because they have no idea that this is happening right now.
Thank you very much. Next up, Beekman Rich.
Based there.
Go ahead.
Hi, I come from a family of farmers in Illinois, and I feel very at home here. I must say that two mountain ranges help enormously. It's a wonderful place. I love these buildings, and I'd be nice to see if they could be preserved. And I think it's hard to imagine something that combines, an economic activity that brings in tourism, should provide jobs. And a lot of the, the uses like are community oriented, children's art and community space. So I'd really love to see it happen, and I don't think it's realistic to do it without some of the relief that's been requested. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, next. Right here. Next up, Stephen Marshall.
Okay. Stephen Marsh, like, I waffled, I believe I scratched out once it said whether I was gonna comment or not. So I just had one quick thought is, this is going by a script, is so it's apropos that an actress is involved in the presentation. It gets an Oscar award. It's a very large project. The reason I took and I believe I scribbled out, I decided I wasn't going to, but it's like the visually impaired people and the elephant. Everybody grasped and describe actually what they saw. Is the whole pachyderm is such a major thing that I have to take it to a proper outline format. But one thing that did strike me is the 15-year request for deferment of taxes is it with, as I understand it, a contribution in lieu of taxes is it's my understanding is that this has worked, but it's not enforceable. As I can just go, well, we don't have the finance this year, whatever. So we're stuck with a 15-year deficiency of that tax income. And something that dawned on me is normally these things are like 10 years, and the idea of having it for 15 years, it's usually the amount of time these things are amortized on. Sorry, I mispronounced that. And then what you do, okay, well, we're fully amortized. We just recorporate and go through this whole process again. And that's the extent of my off-the-cuff observation. Sorry, the lack of planning.
Thank you. Norma Rodriguez.
I wasn't gonna get up. Hey, Flynn.
Oh, you know what? You do have no down here. You do. You have the option.
I
You
have
want
no?
You
I'm
you
gonna
did.
speak for my
I
husband.
apologize. Your husband has.
My husband, because he's not really a talkative person.
Okay.
I'm trying to be quick. Originally from Brooklyn, born in Brooklyn, and came from the Bronx 45 years ago, trying to get away from the nonsense of the city and all of that mess. And now I feel like you're bringing it all here. You know what I mean? Not you per se,
Yeah.
whoever you are. And I feel like it's really sad because I did try to, embrace the new market. You know what I'm saying? And now, by the grace of God, I'm retired. I'm so happy. And my paradise here is flopping because I can't afford. It's like you go to Cancun and all the people that are fixing your bed and everything, you know that they'll never go to that hotel. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've ever been to Cancun and yeah, well, any of the other Caribbean or when you go on vacation and you see these people that are cleaning and doing stuff, but you clearly know that they will never be able to enjoy any of that. And that's what I feel like ACO is gonna be like, because anywhere you go, it's, I embraced the agriculture. That's why we came out here. You know, I learned how to garden, grow my own vegetables, and I feel like it's really sad that, it's the development, although it's lucrative for some people and some people can enjoy it. Just like these people were saying, a lot of the people that live in Accord, they cannot afford what you guys are doing. And I think it's sad, and not that I'm gonna move because my husband built me a beautiful home here and I will probably be buried in Accord. But I just feel like it's really sad.
All right, can you just
And
click that?
I don't wanna
Okay.
be in there.
All right.
I'm not in below, I just want you to hear me, guys. And I think it's sad, I mean, you guys like the city, stay in the city and all the buildings, and that's great. But I feel like it's sad, and I'm taking it personal because I've lived here. I was 23 when we moved up here, and I feel like I'm an accordion, not from the Bronx, boogie down, because I'm 68 years old, and I feel like I'm more of an accordion than from the Bronx. You know what I mean? And it's sad. It's sad that everything changes. I'm sure, some people think change is good, but sometimes just leave stuff the way it is, you know? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up is Sarah Magenheimer. Okay, that's Sarah. We knew we'd get to you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Magenheimer. I teach at a public institution. My parents are public school teachers. I've lived in Eckerd since 2014. My son goes to public school at Marbletown. I really love this town so much. Everyone in here loves this town. I'm hearing a lot of passionate pleas to make it better, and everyone has a different vision of what better looks like, and I really respect all of those visions. I think, I heard about this meeting kind of randomly. I think probably a lot of other people would like to have a voice in this room. I'm glad I'm here. I think everybody here is probably making a sacrifice to be here tonight. I think it's important to separate out these different issues, and sometimes the passion can kind of occlude our vision a bit. And it's true that this is an agricultural town, but the residents still do deserve infrastructure. We shouldn't have to go to other towns to get groceries. I'm really grateful that, I just live up the road, and I'm really grateful that I can go to the store and get eggs if I forget to get eggs somewhere else, I look forward to going to a restaurant. I loved when there was a restaurant at um the train depot over there that's now an Airbnb, unfortunately. Um I really enjoyed riding my bike with my husband and our kid down to the restaurant. And I look forward to running into neighbors and hanging out in one, third space. I don't think restaurants are inherently bad, right? I don't think anyone here like hates restaurants. And nobody hates bike shops. Like those aren't bad things. So I don't, I think it's important to parse out, okay, if these people get a tax break, does that mean we can't have the other infrastructure we really need, such as a library? Yeah, that would be cool to have a library. Can we have that too? I don't think we have to sacrifice one for the other. Can we this is really important to have other infrastructure to support the community. Can we envision those things creatively together? Can we use this opportunity of this forum to generate more ideas creatively together from the grassroots of the community to hear the needs of these people who love this town? Everyone in this room has really great ideas. Let's develop infrastructure and social services, but maybe it doesn't have to come at the expense of this project. I think this dilapidated, falling down, disused building has a ton of potential, and it's clearly in need of help to realize that potential. So I don't know, I don't know the ins and outs of how taxes work. It's not my forte. But I think we should give it, creating a class war. Look, I'm from a working class place. I'm gonna side with working class people. I don't want to create a tax war over this, a class war over this issue. I think we could actually work together and use this as an opportunity for solidarity to make this community better. And we should really kind of use this as a catalyst to do so, because what a waste of time, right? We're all sacrificing our time for this. So let's use that to have some forward moving momentum and make this town as good as we already know it is. And it's not a derelict town, but it does have some derelict buildings that could be revitalized. So I think we should be creative about how we do that. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. And Courtney Wilder?
My name's Courtney. something else be really fast. That my friend, I second everything she just said.
You're gonna have to come closer so we can pick you up on the mic. I know, or talk very loud from
Yeah.
off camera.
Okay, I'm just gonna be really fast. I'm here with my friend Sarah. I echo everything that she just said. I'm a democratic socialist. Everything that you said, I agree with 100%. I want to tax the rich, and I hope that if and when this gets built, that it will pay everybody very well and support like the whole community. I live here. I'm a parent. I'm working class. I'm a gardener. Everyone I know is a builder or a gardener or works in construction. And so I love supporting a project that's going to be thoughtful in how it restores and builds and makes something for the town. And I know Henry, and everything that Henry does, he puts so much thought into, not like for everybody, and he considers it really well. So I like from personal stance, knowing the people involved, with the best intentions, I do support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to speak at this time?
I have an addendum if it would be helpful, or I don't have to.
I can't reintroduce, I can't bring, no, not you, Henry, but I can't bring you back up because I already allotted you the time. I apologize. But I'll tell you what, if you
I
write,
just have a request that you keep the public hearing open for a minimum of written comments.
oh, no, we do.
It is, it's open
Yeah.
until the close of business on the 20th.
Yeah. Yeah, so your written comments can be put in. Okay. So let's see, blah, blah, blah. So if there's no further comments, I will now close this public hearing at 7:06 p.m. And thank you all for attending.
Thank you.